Hi, everybody, and welcome back to On Top of the Game with Doc Brown. Today, we're going to be talking about the new Assassin's Creed. That's right, it's 2023, and we're finally getting a new Assassin's Creed. We haven't had one since 2020's Valhalla, which came out with the next generation systems, obviously, around there. So, what we're looking at here is the introduction to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which shows these grand sweeping plains and this exciting kind of environment that's large and huge and like nothing you're going to see in Mirage, unfortunately, which is kind of why I put this intro in here to show the differences between Mirage and Odyssey right off the bat. So if you like Odyssey, you like Origin, you like Valhalla, you're going to have a little bit of an adjustment to make with Assassin's Creed Mirage because it is trying to come back to the older Assassin's Creeds. So Assassin's Creed 1 and 2, which leaves us to kind of wonder why we want to go back to Assassin's Creed 1, especially when, while it was a good game, it was quite rough around the edges with very repetitive little tasks you had to do all the time, and they were always the same no matter what you were doing. The assassinations were really cool, though, and it started the whole massive lore behind Assassin's Creed that everybody loves so much. Well, that I love at least, anyway. And when we came into Mirage, we are flashing back essentially to kind of that older gameplay idea where everything is kind of simpler. Like we're in a smaller city. We're in Baghdad, which is still a good size. It's still a large city. Don't get me wrong. But it's nothing like Valhalla or Origin or Odyssey's massive, huge spaces that you could just explore for hours. Baghdad just isn't that. You also have your mounts and stuff in this game, just like you did in the newer Assassin's Creeds, and they don't serve that much of a purpose because you're always going to be on the rooftops and running around and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. What they did bring back were some of the things that worked in the old Assassin's Creeds, which were the eavesdropping and stuff like that. So, like you can see that in this clip right here, I'm going to go and eavesdrop on a conversation, and that's going to help us to figure out exactly what we have to do and who we're trying to find and how to get into this fortress to wreck the place, as it were, or save somebody in this particular case. But Assassin's Creed Mirage has a lot of great stuff going for it. It has great combat. The combat is a bit simpler than the newer games because there's not as much leveling and the equipment and stuff like that. The overall difficulty of the combat, however, is still quite hard compared to Odyssey and Valhalla because the multiple assailants, Basim just isn't equipped to handle that many people at once like the other heroes of Assassin's Creed could, as it were. So you're dealing with combat that's a little more difficult to actually execute. However, it's simpler in its regards to your equipment and understanding all of those leveling systems and upgrading your equipment and all of that stuff. When it comes to exploration and stuff to do in Mirage, they give you a pretty good amount of extra stuff to do outside of the story. However, going through Baghdad is not quite as exciting as exploring in the wilderness or something. To me. Now, obviously, your experience could be very, very different. But in my regards, I really liked exploring out in the wilderness, especially in Odyssey, and finding like the mythical creatures and stuff that you could fight. They don't have anything like that in Mirage. However, what Mirage does have is these cool Enigma treasures, which are really hard to find, little treasures that you come off of like a riddle to find them, which is really cool and kind of fun. But the game as a whole is a great time. I really liked it. It is not to me as good as Valhalla and Origins and Odyssey, but it is a really good Assassin's Creed. It just doesn't have the depth that we're used to or the length that we're used to, but it does a good job of wrapping up some of those loose ends at the end of Valhalla, which you'll know about if you've beat the game, obviously. And I recommend you do beat Valhalla because that ending is quite a doozy. But the game itself is fantastic, and I would definitely give Assassin's Creed Mirage an 8 out of 10 for me. It's just, I really enjoyed it the whole time. Thank you for watching, and this has been On Top of the Game with Doc Brown.